What's going on, guys? Fun with Knives back again, and it has been a very long time since I have given you a knife collection update. So this will be part one. This is folding knives. I believe this is all of my folders. I probably forgot some in bags and kits and vehicles and things, but this is the vast majority. And we'll just spend hopefully 10-15 seconds on each and not make this a 2-hour video. But before we start, I am going to be having a knife sale soon. This is not that video yet. I'll release a separate one because I still have to review quite a few of these knives. A lot of these are older. I need to make some room, make some cash back to keep funding the channel, buy a new knife. So, yeah, let's get into it. And I'm going to try to do this in one take. So if I mess up, I'm probably just going to keep rolling. Firstly here, this is a ZT, cool carbon fiber scales. Got that copper color on top. Titanium frame lock. Awesome knife, something a little different from them, not super big and beefy. Think of its design. This is kind of my dressier ZT. This kind of goes in slacks and things like that. New one for me, this is Kershaw Bare Knuckle. This is one I wish I would have got a long time ago. This one was actually a gift and I have been absolutely loving it. It's everything I like from Kershaw. USA made, aluminum handles, subframe lock. I mean, it's great. And it's even got a manual action deep carry clip based on that 777 design from ZT. Awesome knife. Can't wait to review it. Another Kershaw up here. This is an Almar collaboration. One I don't think the channel has seen. It's 8CR13 MOV. It's a budget series knife. Steel frame lock. It's got the speed safe. The blade on this guy is excellent though. I have yet to review it, but I've carried it a ton. It just cuts well. It's very well designed. The handle's kind of a different story. It's got a good clip on it, steel frame lock, but I mean, this kind of feels like you're holding brass knuckles whenever you use this knife, which is a little odd. Kind of feels like a trench spike or something, but pretty cool design. And we are 4 knives in, and this is my favorite knife of all time. This is the ZT-0220, Gonzalez design. I've done multiple videos where this knife has made an appearance, and honestly, this has probably seen more use than just about everything on the table. I love everything about it. I love the clip, the action, the lockup, the blade shape, the design, the color scheme. It's just perfection. I love it. It's currently my channel art right now. It's the best. Speaking of the best, this is probably most people's vote. This is a PM2. This one was also a gift. It's got some custom or aftermarket aluminum scales that used to be very shiny, but they're very scratched up now, which I kind of like even better. S30V steel, aftermarket clip on there for deep carry. It's not one I carry a ton. This PM2 is kind of my beater. This one's seen it's an absolute ton of use. Digi G10, that pocket clip just almost all worn off. Even chipped the tip way back when and had to kind of reprofile it down to meet the edge again, but I mean, hell, I think I use this today. This one's always hanging around, always seeing use. One of the best knives of all time. Code Steel Code 4. This is a knife I probably should have bought a long time ago. I'm iffy on Cold Steel a lot. A lot of their designs just aren't appealing to me. I'm not their target audience, but this one is. It's thin, aluminum, still got the triad lock. It's very strong. It's easy to open and close one-handed relatively because it's a back lock, but it's a good one. And I've been loving it. S35DN steel. And as far as materials go, that is an absolute steal as far as price goes. This one, even more so of a steal. This is a Kershaw Rove. I cannot remember for the life of me if I've reviewed this, but this is one of those knives that I've given as gifts. It's perfect for the everyman, the guy that doesn't care about knives and just needs a pocket knife, but you don't want to get him something from the gas station. This is it. This is about as low budget as I go anymore. This was on sale for like 13 or 15 bucks everywhere a couple years ago, and I probably should have bought like 10 of them. This is such a good beater, such a good user, great blade shape. The grinds, iffy, but speed safe, deep carry clip. It's a good knife. Sad story on this guy. I was given this a few years back, and within a couple of weeks, I completely annihilated the tip on that guy, and it's sat in a drawer ever since. This is the I don't know, 704 or 5 or something like that. It was one of their, starting entries for knives. It's got a little bit more budget materials, and this is before they started releasing. Everything was north of 250 bucks, but this was a great knife. I really like it. So I don't know if I can get a replacement blade or I have to try to grind that down myself, but this is a cool knife. One I probably should not have bought, the Cold Steel Spartan. It's huge. I've neglected it. You can see some corrosion on the edge there. This is certainly one that I will clean up and probably sell. But it's a crazy design. I guess it's cool, but one I thought I would have more fun with, but it's absolutely massive and I have no use for it. This is one of the best knives designed of all time. Obviously very similar to the PM2, same designers. This is the Manix 2 Lightweight in CTS BD1 steel. This was actually my logo for quite some time. This knife is just excellent. Wire clip's great. The lock is awesome. Ambidextrous. It's damn near perfect. I think most of the best knives are probably on the top row for me, the ones I like the most. Kershaw Launch 1. This was my favorite of the Launch series that I got to handle or carry or own. Spring still nice and snappy. Love that aluminum handle. Obviously a button lock. This has just been a great knife. This is one of those I put in the same class as the bare knuckle and the knockout and stuff that we'll get to. It's, I think, one of Kershaw's best designs. This would be the exact opposite. This is the one and only butterfly knife I have owned, as you can see by my lack of skill with it. It's Bear something who makes this. It's just a piece. I don't even know why I have this or why I included it, but it's not worth the shipping to sell it. I just can't bring myself to throw a knife away. So this is basically my first knife. This was given to me by my brother way back before I had fun with knives. It's a Blur Kershaw and S30V steel. Put an aftermarket clip on there so it will be a little bit better for a deep carry. I used and abused this knife. I pried with it. I did all the things you weren't supposed to. I never sharpened it. The lock doesn't hold anymore. So this is a safe queen, and it's one I can never get rid of. It's just very special. This one kind of tarnishes that reputation. This was my actual first knife as a gift and what got me into carrying a knife. This is your average Gerber, so it's not good. Bead blast, terrible grind, bad lockup, bad action. I mean, it's not a good knife, but it's one I carried for a few months before I got that, entry into the knife world, and that's that Blur. So that's what I'll give the trophy to for my first knife. Let's start on this side. Spyderco Endura 4, the VG10 steel, that back lock on it. This one is just such a great user. I got it all oranged for an outdoors kind of lightweight hiking, camping knife, and it has been excellent in that role. It's a good knife. ZT-0801 BW, Rexford design. ZT released about 100 variations of this, and I do like this knife quite a bit. I think they overdid the black wash, Kershaw and ZT that is, for a couple years, but I've always been a fan. I love that finish, that stone wash with the acid, etch at the same time. KVT ball bearings, flipper, frame lock, the story from ZT, but very cool. This is certainly one of my favorite knives, the Kershaw Knockout with a busted tip. This one has seen so much pocket time. It used to travel with me on the road everywhere. Subframe lock, aluminum handled, Sandvik 14C 28N steel. I love this thing. I just cannot believe how much they're going for now. They're like 90, 100 bucks. And that's crazy. This is the higher end budget knife from Kershaw back in the day. It was like $50 or $55 or something. So I probably should get another one of those and kind of retire that guy. But as you can see, I have too many knives as it is. This is ZT again. This is a 0456 Sinkovich design. This thing's sweet. I've always loved the milling on the handle. All the cool anodization, blue throughout. Again, KVT ball bearings, steel frame lock. This thing is just a tank. I mean, the action and things are just awesome. Ergonomics are great. It's been a great user. It's got an awesome blade shape, but there's no internal milling in here. So this thing is just pretty hefty in the pocket. This is a knife I am kicking myself for not buying sooner. This is the Benchmade Bug Out. I call this the cooler version because it's M390 and It's got those awesome aluminum scales. I avoided this knife because it was kind of like the pop song of the day. Everyone knew it, everyone loved it, and I'm like, I don't need to buy that knife, but it's excellent, and I should have got on the bandwagon a lot sooner. So can't wait to review that one. It's in stark contrast for this knife. This is the Kershaw Fraction. This one I thought was going to be a budget win. It's an Onzo design, manual budget flipper from Kershaw, and it's just not good. It's poorly built. The tip bent on me randomly, and I don't even know when it happened because I wouldn't use a knife like this for hard use. The finish is bad. All the angles are sharp. The action's inconsistent. The blade, wobbles. It's just wasn't made well. And I mean, I know it's a budget knife, but if we're talking about the Rove up there, that was half the price, and it's 5 times the knife. So on to the VDK Pharaoh. This one's pretty special. Kind of that Persian upswept knife. The design, it's very interesting. I was actually lucky enough for Vlad to pass this along to me. Got some awesome kind of sculpted titanium handles with, I don't know if you'd call those faux bolsters, but some carbon fiber on there. Smooth, glassy action. This is more of some pocket jewelry to me rather than a knife, but it's pretty awesome. Another one of my favorites, this is ZT 0095BW. As far as ZTs go, this is second for me, of course, to the 0220. Love the blade shape, the ergos are great. The action is just fantastic, it just flies out there. KVT ball bearings, titanium frame lock again, and I actually like that this one doesn't have the same clip. It's got the other clip, if you will. It's got this one rather than the fold over deep carry clip. This one's seen a ton of use. Love that one. This one I probably should not have included because it is completely broken. This is right in line with the butterfly knife up there. It's just broken. The knife won't retract or lock properly. So this one's actually probably one I just need to throw away, but it's hard to do that. So prepare yourselves. The next 2 knives are very bad, and just keep in mind I was young and dumb. I tried to customize some knives, and I wanted to go with some budget folders. So this is the CQC 4K XL. So I busted out a Dremel and some sanding paper, and I wanted to make my own grip and change it up and make it grippier or less grippy. So I was really just experimenting here. This is, in fact, I think I broke the tip on this knife, and I had to like regrind it to where it had a point. So I'm like, well, this is a lost cause anyway. So this just sits in a drawer. It's not worth anything to anyone, but it's just so hard to throw away a knife. Same thing with the Spyderco Persistence. This one's just even worse. I was like, oh, I'll give it a cool like moon texture and have like craters, and I obviously just destroyed this knife. So forgive me on those. I learned my lesson. I will leave the knife creation to the experts, or even knife modification, that is. Boker Wildcats. This is one I've kind of neglected. I'm not a huge fan of this knife. I love the design and the way it looks, but the action is a little too soft of a detent. I don't know why. The lock doesn't hold up properly. I think it's a cool effort, and the handle scales, the G10's milled in a cool way. It's got sculpting all around, and kind of a karambit, kind of not. It's got a crazy tanso with a recurve. This is one I probably shouldn't have bought, so this will be going in a sale or a giveaway or something at some point. Another sad story, man, we're getting 4 in a row here. This Kershaw Launch 2. I like the Kershaw launches for quite a while. I was planning on trying to collect all of them, but this one kind of lost its tension there. I just need to get a new spring from Kershaw, but man, I cannot believe the one that I used less as opposed to the Kershaw Launch 1. I carried this one about half as much, and the spring went out on me. So it's probably what you get when you buy a budget autos. Autos are usually much more expensive. These are right around 80, 90, 100 at the time. So just got to replace a part, but haven't been too lazy to do that for a while. Got a couple more Kershaws coming up. This is the Kershaw Tumbler. This is one I bought while I wasn't really making videos. Sinkovich design, sub frame lock, manual action. Awesome blade on that guy. D2 steel. This one's got pretty much everything I like from Kershaw, but I have very mixed feelings about. So can't wait to do a review on this one. This one might end up going away. Not that I hate it, but I have to wait for the review on overall thoughts on that. I don't want to make this video too long. Cold Steel Recon 1. I'm kind of taken with this knife. I didn't think I'd like it. I think it'd be too big, too grippy, too, I don't know, just too big overall, just a everyday carry, and I actually love it. For any dirty task or hard use task that I have that just requires a ton of cutting, this usually goes with me. So S35VN Triad lock, big, strong, and really cool looking. I'm a fan of that one. Another Kershaw here. CQC, I don't know, 11K, 13K, I don't know, I lost count. Upswept blade, Emerson design, the wave opener. I believe this is not even G10, it's just plastic. This is kind of a similar story here. I certainly like the tumbler more, but I was kind of disappointed by this knife. Still got to do a review on it. Browse Blades Sniper, if I can hit a flipper tab to save my life here. This one's interesting. It's got a lot going for it. Never owned a Browse knife before. It's got good action, good lockup, good blade centering, but it's kind of weird. It's long and slender, so this one might end up going away. Truthfully, I can't remember if I did a review on that guy or not. And then lastly, I think it's this one, the Kershaw Link in 20CV. If got to do a full review on this guy. This one's seen a ton of pocket time. If you ever think about getting this knife, just do it. Buy two. They're excellent. This is probably the best knife Kershaw makes right now. I think a lot of people would agree with that. Liner lock, speed safe action, excellent seal in 20CV, deep carry clip, flipper, aluminum handle scales. It's excellent. So that was part 1, folding knives. Like I said, I have a few that are laying around elsewhere, but that was the vast majority. And keep in mind, we'll be doing a knife sale in the coming weeks. So keep an eye out. And thanks for watching, guys. Remember, have fun with your knives.